What is up, good people? Jungle Inc. here. Hope you're doing well. If you haven't seen it, the CEO of MoneyGram was asked, what does he think about Ripple? Can they rebound from these issues they've had? And the tone of his answer was really odd. He said, well, what they're doing doesn't make a lot of sense, and they're a nice little company, he guesses, and things like this. Definitely there's some friction there. I don't know what that's about. I could hypothesize, but we'll stay out of that. I can tell you, it is a far cry from the things he was saying in his earnings call when he was partnering with Ripple. This was exciting, all of this kind of stuff. But the one thing he said is there's a lot of volatility and friction, so I kind of want to go over that. And he makes up a good point. This was brought up by Bob Way. Original discussions they had when they were designing all of this. You know, in a traditional payment, you have one trade. Let's say you're sending $50 into Mexico and you want to end up pesos. You have a singular trade, USD to pesos. Where in what Ripple's trying to do with on-demand liquidity, you have a USD to XRP and an XRP to peso. So you have double the trades here. And we know that crypto markets are a little bit illiquid. And so both on the buy and the sell could be, some slippage there. And it's not like we have a global set price at all times. There can be some differences in markets and things like that. So yes, if you're using crypto to send payments today, you're going to run into a lot of that. And that's why we saw Ripple was paying MoneyGram millions of dollars a quarter to try to make this work, try to build up those corridors. And they were not successful. What I would say is there was some truth to what he was saying, what Alex, the CEO, was saying, that, there's an extra complication. There's a middle trade there, trading into and out of a cryptocurrency, and that's part of understanding why this system is so difficult to roll out and really implement, but they're going to get there. That's why you saw, I think, Ripple pivot to SMEs and different things, because they saw with this, look, we can't even handle MoneyGram's cross-border payments. At this point in time, we're not going to be able to handle everyone's, right? There's a process to building up corridors, building up liquidity, and they're going through that right now. And so for him to point out a very real problem, that's fine. That makes sense, and you could see that in MoneyGram's quarterly financials, publicly disclosed. All of those payments Ripple was making to make them whole quarterly, and then in addition, they were incentivized millions of dollars to go through these trials. That makes sense to point that out, but why his change in tone? Where before the things Ripple were doing were very interesting and, cutting edge, and now, well, it just doesn't make any sense, and they're, this and that. I would expect maybe Ripple's either working with one of their competitors or going after part of their business or something. Something has definitely soured there, and I'm sure we'll find out in the coming months, because that was a hostile answer for sure. For those of you that have not checked it out, RNR Poker. I jumped on there for the first time last night. You can play poker for different cryptocurrencies. I was using Casino Coin. That seemed to be where all the action was at that point in time. We weren't playing for big dollars here. We had maximum of 200,000 casino coins, which I don't even know what that is. It's, peanuts. But you had to play poker for some sort of money, and it was fun, and it was people I knew from Twitter. And I'm sure as the site grows, the stakes will also go up if you're a big money poker player. I don't really do that anymore, just like to play for fun. But I would tell you, check it out, right? Check it out and see if you like it. If you're into poker, I think you'll enjoy playing with a lot of the people from the crypto community that you know from Twitter. A lot of fun there. I was at a table with a lot of people, and Scam Detective, scams, he was just running away with everyone's money, and I got out of there before he could get any of mine. Man, was he on a roll. But anyway, if you like poker, you might like this little twist. You can play for some crypto, and if you don't want to wager a lot of money, I think you'll find some action there that is still fun. Now, could regulations have prevented FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried? A lot of people say no. If you're going to be a fraudster, you could fraud even if there's regulations. And while that's true, I think the problem is, everything is pushed overseas right now. And if the U.S. had regulations for crypto markets, do you think that Tom Brady and Giselle and all these investors would invest in some kind of sketchy Bohemian company? Probably not. They would want to invest in a U.S. company. That's just not an option right now. So while, yes, you can fraud people under any regulatory regime, the fact that we are so hostile towards crypto and pushing a lot of this overseas doesn't help things. Our spidey alarms, our spidey senses would be going off like crazy with a lot of these companies that are all over the place. We'd say, well, why aren't you in the U.S.? It would only be sensible. But because of this hostile environment they've created, we go, well, Of course you don't want to be in the US. You're just going to be sued out of existence for no good reason. It makes sense. Unclear regulations. This hostile environment we find ourselves in, it's a breeding ground for scamsters, and it punishes those people that want to do it right, those true entrepreneurs. Now, this next thing, it's pure speculation. Understand it for what it is, but this is what I think. We know SBF is connected to a lot of politicians, and they're going to want this story to go away. The trial's wrapped up. He's going to be sentenced at some point in time. He was guilty on all counts. I'm sure it'll be a long time. Somehow he's going to weasel out of prison eventually, I bet. But never mind that. They're going to want you to stop paying attention to this story. How do they do that? I think they're going to go after a bigger story, a bigger quote-unquote criminal in crypto. And I believe it's going to be the time when you see the DOJ step in and go after CZ. Just my wild speculation. Take it for what it is. But I think it's TikTok. They're coming after him. Will they be successful or not? I don't know, but we'll find out. Let me know what you think down below. And as always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Inc.